Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just one tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
All right, good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Apologies about that. 24 minutes past the top of the hour. Welcome to another beautiful episode of the Africa Today Show. My name is Joby. To the first time listeners, returning listeners on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChutes, and of course to everyone with us on the radio station, and to those who shall be catching this, of course, on Spotify and Spreaker as well. Karibuni is now once again. Today we shall be talking about the Hurricane Katrina disaster, or rather the documentary that has been released, which we did say shown earlier on my show, and Keith on his hand shall be sharing that. But before we get started, of course, I'd like to remind you, as always, to download our app on the Google Play Store. Blackout Fire Network is the name, and of course, through the app, you can get yourself some amazing organic supplements, merchandise, hoodies, beanies. Hoodies in terms of like what you saw Keith wearing today on my show in all colors. You can get yourself an amazing merchandise for yourself. In terms of organic supplements, we're talking about ashwagandha, beetroot, multivitamin, beetroot, also some moringa, sea moss, and much more of amazing these organic supplements. For now, I'd love to share some multivitamin before we get started. And of course, as I get to come back, I'll be sharing some of the news and updates of what took place during this weekend. A pending conversation I was to share today on my show regarding the white farmer on the trial for deleting two black women. This is in South Africa, which of course Keith did talk about it a little bit, but I want to get deeper also into it. We also want to talk about apart from Bill Gates introducing the 8-year contraceptive. This is in Nigeria, Kenya, and India. Also, the Bill Gates Foundation, or Bill Gates baked company, is now producing a butter with no animal, no plants, and no oil, and it's made from carbon. We want to dig into that and see how this is gonna work. And of course, we want to talk about also what is happening in Kenya a little bit, where we can see the US is literally talking about its reassurance in Kenya. Mind you, we have the UN, which is moving, of course, in Kenya, and which is very alarming to the lives of so many Kenyans, which are going to get super tough, especially for the people living in the Nairobi city. So we shall be discussing on that and much more. But for now, get yourself some amazing
Fuel your body with Complete Multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just one tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
Only $32.90, and of course much more in case you're facing any issues before or after purchasing of these amazing supplements or the merchandise. Just ensure you communicate to us at our email kcnewsam15@gmail.com, and of course also on the active chat right there on the BHFN Sports page. Karibuni sana once again. My name is Joby. Hit the like button as you join. If it is the first time once again on Rumble Beach It or rather YouTube, kindly do subscribe, and of course feel free also to maybe request the link to join on the conversation in case you have something you'd love to say. Shout out to Jason Karibu. Hope you're having a beautiful day, a beautiful Monday, an easy one. And of course, welcome to the another episode of the Africa Today Show. As we get started, what is happening in Kenya? A lot has been happening, and of course, it's a reassurance of where and understanding we are why we have Ruto literally as a president. That's one thing I'm gonna say. Understand that Ruto being our president, this is a man who is not supposed to be actually a leader. I'm not gonna go deeper into that, but looking at his history, we know what he has done. We've been talking about it. His history of 2007, why he went on trial, or he was literally one of the people at the Hague, that is the International Criminal Court, and still was found not guilty because some evidence, witnesses literally went missing. Recently, we've been seeing so many literally agendas being pushed and so many things working, and Kenyans, of course, saying no because this regime has been pushing too many things that are super, not only oppressive, but also against, I'd say, how do I say? There's how I want to put it spiritually. It's a taboo. Let me say it's a taboo. That's the simplest word I literally use. Today we're even discussing slightly. I don't know if I have the right to mention this, but we're discussing how Ruto is not just a leader. This is just like, I'd say a cat in the small hut in the the most trained evil way. Let me put it that way. Not to put it in the bad word that I don't want to put outside there. He's literally not just a leader, but he's literally fulfilling the whole agenda. So it's literally super super crazy. So of course we've been seeing him pushing so many agendas, including the VCCINEs being accepted in Kenya. So many launches actually are supposed to be taking place coming the end of this year and the beginning of 2026. We're talking about children being dewormed with different type of VCCINEs. We've seen the cancer trial VCCINEs also being brought in Kenya. We're talking about also HIV VCCINEs also being tried in Kenya. Now we have this video which is actually clarifying, of course, what you'd speculate. Why Kenya? I think knowing and understanding that we have Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and I think those are the most targeted countries. But recently we've been having Nigeria and Kenya as like the spread of the rest of the things that if they accept, the rest of the continent should be comfortable with it. But also I do love the fact that youths are being resistant, and that is also a discussion we were having just a few minutes ago with my friends, and we're talking about how what is it that we need to expect in 2027 regarding Kenyan election, because tribalism is still very active. People are still talking about cultural differences. People are still being driven by political differences tribally. But are we going to be repeating history, or are we going to be able to say no, not move like the way our parents were comfortable? And shout out to my friends, and some of the people are actually saying like that era is really gone. The same conversation we've been having right here. And maybe I'm wrong, but yes, tribalism is still very active, but I think it's time to tell us what is going to happen. But listen to this.
Sir, remains central to our U.S.-Africa policy. When we do something in Africa, we do it in Kenya first. And there's a reason for that.
When we do something in Africa, we do it in Kenya first. That is actually a very concerning point. And as Kenyans, as Africa, we should be very also concerned. If we left borders aside, we should also question why Kenya, why is it that they start there? What is the agenda? As East Africa, we should be concerned. If East Africa as a bloc was working or as a board was working, they should be concerned why is it that they start here. But it's not just Kenya. Like I said, we have Nigeria, we have South Africa, we have Ghana. Why Kenya? Because she did say it specifically. Let me start it again.
Kenya, as you know, sir, remains central to our U.S.-Africa policy. When we do something in Africa, we do it in Kenya first. And there's a reason for that. It's because of our shared interests and alignment on governance, on rule of law, and democracy. I think this delegation represents the breadth and depth of the people-to-people partnership, as well as the subnational partnership. I was actually just in your hometown in Eldoret on Friday and had a fantastic conversation with His Excellency, the Governor, about his
telling you they're also monitoring your president. We were just in your hometown the other day as the president of this country. We went and talked to the people of your hometown. We went to hear the reviews they have to say about you. I feel like it's on monetization, of your leadership. Are you fulfilling, I don't know, what is expected of them, but in their own perspective? Because the feedback, of course, is not going to be given directly, but they'll get what the answers they need.
Recent trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and what they see going forward, exciting opportunities with their sister city partnership. So the embassy will always stand ready to support states and cities, et cetera, who come to visit us, because our interest is really
the U.S. Embassy, which has collected literally billions of funds from Kenyans, literally, and denying them visas and never returning these funds back. And not just Kenya. This is majority of the African countries that actually Africans are facing this. These embassies that are set here, the U.S. embassies are collecting funds, hustling Africans, and not giving them visas, and not even returning back their funds. So this is the fact that actually she says everything we do starts from Kenya, and we have a reason for that. Number one, as an embassy, you should be questioned. The fact that you've been denying people, taking people's money, not returning it back, and you've been doing it on the other African countries. This should be alarming, and Kenya should be questioned by other African countries, if I'm making sense. Other African countries should question Kenya. Why is it allowing this to happen? Because everything we do starts from Kenya. What do you mean? Everything we do starts from Kenya, and there's a reason for that. Hustling people, number one. Watching us. Watching the president, because that's what you're admitting.
Shared prosperity for Kenyans and Americans alike. I think this visit in particular is really exciting because there are so many common priorities. When we look at Kenya, its leadership in AI, in green energy, in agriculture.
Agendas that actually are agendas that are supposed to be fulfilled come 2030.
California's interest in smart agriculture, energy generation. I hear they do some tech, just a little bit, and creative economy, which is something we engaged you with, sir, in Atlanta during the state visit. Was very exciting.
That's correct.
And the embassy continues to lead on those efforts in encouraging U.S. investment, together with young Kenyan innovators, influencers, et cetera. I think that's just a huge opportunity. And job growth, I think, is what's really exciting.
I believe that the expertise that have been built over many years in California with your technology companies can be laced and infused with African experience. And the young men and women we have in our country that have ideas, they have passion around technology, and they have immense to contribute into that space. So your coming here is a great expression of friendship. It is a moment for us to take our engagements to a whole new level. And I'm very happy that this morning you have engaged with colleagues from different sectors in our country. As you are aware, Kenya is a leader in many aspects, and we are very proud of what we can do with many other friends and partners. Our energy mix, Minister here will tell you, we are now at 90% renewable. Our target is by 2030, we should progress it to 100%. We are providing also leadership in climate action. We will be in Ethiopia next month for the Africa Climate Summit, which Kenya is leading, to harmonize, to harness, and to package the ideas and suggestions of this continent on matters that are of importance to all of us around climate action, green energy, and what we can do.
You can see is pushing all the agendas that we know it's who are pushing it.
Together. The fact that we are engaging both at the national level, at the state and county level.
He has completely sold Kenya out. That is what I'd say. And sadly, it's crazy because we thought the Kenyattas were better, or Kenyatta was better, but we just figured out that they have been the ones controlling the express railway road, which Kenyans are supposed to be paying for the next couple of years, and this is coming from their pockets. Literally, this is corruption at its highest top, where you've been hustled without you knowing, and without violence. You're just willingly giving your money, funding some families who are just promising you, giving you hopes, but yet they're benefiting off you. You're literally you're the slave of the country. It's crazy. It is super insane, but that is what is happening. Ruto has completely sold Kenya out, and right now is trying as much as he can now to buy the youths, to change the youths, distract them with entertainment. This is why we're seeing this soccer with Angola, Morocco, which we were discussing that. We've been discussing this, I think, for the last few shows of the Rhythm Scoop show. It's good, but why now? Why is it that right now presidents are taking serious, sports all of a sudden? So many Africans would be so far if sports were taken serious, but why now? It's crazy. But as we move on from that, we have this particular case, of course, which we were to discuss also earlier regarding the two Black women who were killed by a white farmer and fed to pigs. And they're saying that right now the white farmer owner and his farm supervisor from South Africa are on the trial for allegedly as they use shooting two Black women who entered their property and feeding their bodies to pigs. The brutal cases had sparked national outrage for race and justice. Zakaria Olivia, 60, is accused of shooting the women with the help of 19-year-old Adrian DeWet, and authorities say that the killings happened in August 2024 on a farm in Sebieng outside Mankweng, Limpopo. Police found the decomposed body in a pigsty, on August 20. Pigsty, yeah?
Yeah, pigsty. That's it.
And a third person, a 47-year-old man who was with the women, survived the attack but was shot and hospitalized. He told the reporters that the one that one of the victims was his wife and the other was a neighbor. The group had gone to the farm to collect expired dairy products. So you can see that it takes so much time. Again, you're in the continent where they have stolen your land. This is just crazy, and that the fact that this has been tolerated in South Africa, it just makes me sad. I don't care how short term of independency you've been having, it's long enough for you to understand what you've been dealing with and where you're coming from historically for you to be accepting this and still defending what Keith you're talking about earlier, saying that you're not black, defending that, wanting to be this other race so bad, chasing out other Africans or being xenophobic or having xenophobic behaviors instead of uniting and addressing what the real issue is, where white people are the problem.
Yep, but their minds are colonized, Joby. They've been under white rule longer than people on the African continent. So their minds, 200 years by other Africans, them 500 years, net what 16. So 400 years. 400 years they've been when white people came to South Africa. So it's been their minds have been completely colonized. They're fight, they hate, they scream at other Africans, never scream at nobody, no other race, no white people, no Asians, no East Indians, and no Asians at all. It's only other blacks who are there. Those borders are fake. All these people showed up. You didn't have any borders, so people flow in and out of that part of Africa. So, hey, that's why I told you. I tried to tell y'all that Thailand thing wasn't going to work. Because you're not going to tell us that, that we're supposed to be self-hating and we're supposed to bow down because she's a mixed colored. No, that's their mind over there. Okay? That's their screwed up mind. like Cameron said so honestly, we got there. He was from Kenya. No, he's African. That was the hate they had. So they've been doing this. It's over and over again. These stories keep going over and over again about them feeding people to pigs. That's the main thing. So imagine when they had complete control of the country, complete racist, just vile control of that place. The heinous crimes they did, and no one ever faced any justice, ever. All you have was that big ass Nelson Mandela Truth and Reconciliation where, you tell us what you did, we're not going to punish you. You black people never get justice. We're just going to just say nothing to see. We're going to keep all our land, everything we stole. We're going to control the economy. We'll say, hey, now you can go to the toilet over there as a black person. Ain't that great? Yes.
Exactly. It's been tolerated. That's why you see, even the recent events of the white farmer still who ran on kids and saying he thought they were animals.
Exactly. That time too. Exactly.
The defense mechanism also being super diabolic. It's just not even making sense. It's super, super crazy. But I do believe actually it's the acceptance of the behavior because
of course. Because they think another people's better.
I don't know how do you defend this? The fact that it's been happening to you as a community and you don't do anything about it. I'd be full of rage if my kids have been affected or if my family has gone.
Would that be the right thing? And Kenyans actually finally fought 60 years ago. South Africans never fought no war, Joe. They worship these people still. At the end of that, let's be all the way honest. They worship their oppressors, Joby. Let's just make them 100. It is. That's why they're coming all TikTok. It's all white people, leave out white people. They worship these people. So you worship your oppressor, they keep hitting you in the head. Shout out to that one black guy. The South Africans are the worst black people we got. They're the worst.
It's sad to have such a description on coming from your fellow Africans, because I do believe also the hate would grow because we have Malawians, Zimbabweans, Kenyans who have also faced the same xenophobic behaviors. Africans literally across the continent. And I don't know about black. Did you face the same xenophobic behavior? I bet not.
And I'm going to tell you why. It's the same hatred they have. The only reason we didn't have it, right, is because African Americans come from a place that's developed.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get the same. I don't understand. They still want to throw us under the bus, but we don't get that same vitriol thing because they know we're not coming there to go to South Africa because America's better than South Africa. We're not coming there to take over their jobs and take whatever they're supposed to think we're taking.
Yeah.
So we're going to be treated a little bit different than the Africans on the continent. But at the end of the day, it's still going to put white people over us as well. So.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, as we continue moving on from that, I bet they need to get educated again. I bet it's just lack of history that they didn't fight, so they lack that rage of and need to fight back because you are liberated by your fellow Africans who came.
They don't
to
even know
Africa.
that. They don't even know
So
that.
I do believe it's the lack of history and the
They
fact
don't
that
even know
you
that.
didn't participate in the history. You don't have the rage, but if taught and understand why other Africans should actually even come to your country, why you need to be accommodative, if I'm making sense, it's just lack of information. That is what I literally say. But as we move on, we have, apart from Bill Gates, like I said, foundation coming up with the 8-year contraceptive that is going to be launched in Nigeria, Kenya, and India. We have Bill Gates backed company, which is now producing butter with no animals, no plants, no oil, and it's made from carbon. So if you're going to be eating your cornbread, this is maybe the type of butter you're going to be using. I don't know, but yeah.
It looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we're all familiar with, but without the farmland, fertilizers, or emissions tied to that typical process. And this butter breakthrough, it's happening right here in Batavia.
In the middle of an industrial park in a suburb west of Chicago, something unprecedented is happening.
More fake stuff.
So you're using this gas right now to cook your food.
Pauses. The reason why people are fat in America is because we don't eat real food. Everything's processed. There's no real food. So this is some more fake ass food. So I told you, you go back 30 years ago, you see a bunch of fat people in America because we ate real food. You see a bunch of our women fat, bunch of us fat like me. I've never gained because we don't eat real food. Our food is not real. That's what's going on. These are processed fake foods, and they're dangerous because they have no nutritional value. When you're eating processed food, there's no nutrition. So as you get older, you can start getting diseases from these foods because your body is lacking in nutrition. That's why anybody in America, you must take supplements. You don't, because you're not getting the minerals that food brings to you. Not in America, you're not. That's why you better be taking some kind of supplements to put some minerals back in your body because you're not getting it from the food. You're not getting it from the tomatoes. Everything's processed or fake, phony, GMO. That's why we're so damn fat. Because we get no nutrition in our diet. We have the worst foods. We're the worst food place on the planet. That's already been established. That's a fact. As far as our food, it's the worst on the planet. America has the worst food on the planet. That's a fact. Go ahead, Joe.
And we're proposing that we would like to first make your food with that gas.
The company is called Savor, and you better believe it. They're pioneering tech that uses carbon and...
Always some Bill Gates shit again every time with this. It's over and over again with this crazy
hydrogen to make the stick of butter you see on this plate.
This is pretty novel to be able to make food that looks and tastes and feels exactly like dairy butter, but with no agriculture whatsoever.
And no long ingredient list the average person...
Out of nature. Should they say this is out of nature, Kit? I don't know. Because the fact it's... I don't know. This is out of nature, right? Is this out of nature? I don't know.
It's not
No.
What do you mean nature? There's no nature in it. It's all fake, Joby. You shouldn't put this in your body.
person can't pronounce.
It's really just our fat, some water, a little bit of lecithin as an emulsifier, and some natural flavor and color.
How?
See?
It looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we're...
Fats are made up of carbon and hydrogen chains. The goal here, replicate those
Joby,
chains
why
without animal...
Why would I do all this? Why would I do all this crazy shit? Everything you do is unnatural. Why would I just do the natural thing that God gave us in abundance, which is cows and natural shit to make butter? Why would I need to make fake crazy shit that ain't part of nature? Why would I do that all the time? Every time they do something, it's away from nature. Every time.
True. And it's crazy. It's sad because they don't just do it because they're experimenting it on people.
Well,
They're
I think
doing it.
our food is the worst one in the world. What do you mean? Why? I think because Ricky, we're the test bed of everything criminal that they want to put around. So we're the head of the evil empire right now. We're the head of the snake. So all things they want to do everywhere, they do it here first. So when they first want to say, okay, let's see if it works here first, then they take it to Africa and here, South America, Asia, Europe. Remember, Europe has denied all American food. Even those crazy white people said, nah, we're not taking none of that shit, right? Even Europe denies our food. See, Africa's not strong, so they force that shit to Africa. Because Africa don't got no leaders that actually care about them. So they're all bootlicks and they get paid off. Here you go $1 million for you and your family. Oh, yes, thank you for the fake paper. Thank you, Daddy. Okay, all you Negroes, it's all good for you to eat all this stuff. Like that Kenyan guy said, are we not to eat GMOs if America doesn't? It's unhealthy here in America, moron. Bro, I got some fake paper that the white man gave me. Ooh, look at my paper money. Ooh. So, we got the most unhealthy, the most unsafe food of any country. And then Russia's banned everything coming from them, everything. Russia said, you're crazy. No American food in here at all. At all. None of that shit up in here because it ain't food. It's all fake. So, but go ahead, Joe. I'm going to show you.
Or plants. And they did it. They tell me to simplify. They take carbon dioxide from the air and hydrogen from water, heat them up and oxidize them. The final result?
It looks like a wax, like a candle wax at first.
But they're fat molecules, like the ones in beef, cheese, or vegetable oils.
Sustainability is why we are here.
It's all done releasing 0 greenhouse gases, using no farmland to feed cows.
We're like not at full.
It's always the fake climate change shit. This is fake, guys. It's always the fake climate change narrative that you've been given. That's why we got to give you fake food. It's because of the environment. It's not. It's Depop, guys. It's Depop. Okay, everything they do now is about Depop. Mask as some other shit. Everything they do now is Depop, guys. Mask as, we're trying to save the planet. We're trying to make better food. It's all a lie. All of it. It all culminates into Depop.
So you need to be very careful when you're going to buy butter right now because you might not know what is,
you better learn.
Full capacity in this facility yet.
And even though we're standing in a factory setting,
And in addition to the carbon footprint being much lower for a process like this, right? The land footprint.
They understand, see, this is how they own all the meat. All this is all around this carbon footprint. This is all a lie. But they own all the meat. So when you make a lie repetitive, you say it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that lie becomes the truth in your mind. The carbon footprint, the carbon footprint, carbon footprint. Everywhere you go in all the news, the carbon footprint, the carbon footprint. So that repetitive thing in your mind becomes the truth. And what she's saying is a goddamn lie. There's no carbon footprint. There's nothing wrong with the carbon on the planet at all. Remember, they want to blow out the sun, stop carbon, because these motherfuckers are dying out. This is all they saying is absolute rubbish. And the real scientists are not sponsored by any of these cats with the hats have already said it. This is all baloney. It's all fake. Easily proven it's fake. But they don't get on the media because they don't own all the media is controlled by one faction pushing this narrative. Globally. They own all them. That's why you hear it repetitive. Global, this repeating this propaganda over and over again. Propaganda.
Exactly what Chris from saying.
Is like 1,000 times lower than what you need in traditional agriculture.
I know what you're thinking. I think we need to taste this.
I would love for you to taste this.
How does it taste?
Now we taste it. Let's taste it. It has no nutritional value. You got to eat. Food means you must have nutrition. It must give you iron, zinc. That's why everybody's what? Mineral deficient in America. Majority of people in America are mineral deficient. That's why you start going blind, you start getting Alzheimer's, you start getting gout, because you're mineral deficient. As you go on in life and you start losing these minerals in your body, that's where your disease and all these aches and pains, because you're not making manganese, zinc, copper from the food. That's why food is medicine. This is fake food. There's no medicine in this. There's no nutritional value. It's garbage. There's no reason to eat this shit. Remember, food is to give you nutrition, to give you vital minerals for reparative healing in your body. That's why food is medicine. But they took that away with their fake synthetic shit 100 years ago with the Rockefellers. Food and herbs is actually real healing. You can't do nothing with this shit here. You're mineral deficient. Minerals help with you. So you can see, I got glasses on. I'm deficient in some kind of mineral. Start affecting your ear, your hearing. Everything is based on minerals in your body. In America, you better be taking some mineral supplements, because you damn sure not getting it from the food as we did, regular farming, where they destroyed the soil. All that GMO shit has no mineral, has no nutritional value either. Why is that? So now I'm eating fake food. Now I get to go to their hospital. So I'm paying to eat their fucked up food that makes me sick. So I got to pay them in their hospital. See the con game, the psychopathic shit they do. They're dealing with psychopaths. Every level they set is absolutely outside of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, let me wind up with this, then we get into the main topic very quickly.
All right, well, let me share this real quick.
I love butter, so I'm going to take a really healthy amount.
Admittedly, surprisingly, like butter.
Cheers.
Surprisingly, it's not butter, though. You like butter, but amazingly, surprisingly, it ain't butter.
Yeah, Illinois, and their home lab base in San Jose, California, backed by Bill Gates, who wrote in his blog, quote, "The idea of switching to lab-made fats and oils may seem strange at first, but their potential to significantly reduce our carbon footprint is immense. Believing butter can make a difference."
This is really about how we feed our species and heal our planet at the same time. I put more information on food.
That's why it's all fake. The same businesses that destroy the planet ain't doing nothing. That's their business. That's all. And you heal our planet at the same time. Get out of here with that shit. Let me share my screen.
Go to the comments very quickly. Shout out to 10 Speed, shout out to Ricky Snow, Jason. Jason said, what's up with the red dressing fox in Louisiana? A bunch of compromised men. Ain't sure about that information.
Oh, you showed that? Yeah, it's about the homosexuals running around in New Orleans with them booty dresses on. The dress that Joby got, just the short dress that Joby might wear every now and then.
I also see 10 Speed says we need supplements like vitamin D3, K2, magnesium, potassium, and a cod liver oil with our food, because the nutrition from the ground is not good at all.
Exactly.
He also adds that countries do not take American food items because they are straight poison.
Exactly.
They are actually selling seedlings watermelon. Where does this stuff come from? A laboratory? That is a question. Shout out to the Royal Constrictor as well.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
now, see, U.S. obesity levels are particularly severe. Exactly. We're all fat, fucked up because of the fake food. We're not getting no nutrition in our diet. It's all fillers. As 10 Speed just says, it's all just garbage. There's no minerals. There's no nutritional value. So it means we're getting sick from eating garbage. That's why we're all fat, because there are no minerals in it. But let me let them say what I already know until I'm making some fake butter. You see, America's #1, the fattest country. See, you don't see no African countries on here because there's no GMOs and fake food, mostly in Africa. See that? Let's see.
They eat really well in Italy. Everybody I know, every time I go to Italy, everybody's eating really well. 11% obesity. United States, triple that. 33%. Triple. Spoiler alert, the reason why Americans are fat is because we don't eat real food.
Duh.
We eat processed food. In
It's
fact,
garbage.
Americans get 55% of their calories from ultra-processed food.
Which has no mineral.
And what is in ultra-processed food? Garbage, poison, things that your body isn't supposed to have in it, like seed oils.
Garbage.
And all kinds of chemicals, preservatives.
Why is it in there?
What? Yeah.
It means it has no nutritional value. So what you're eating is garbage. You feel full, but you've got no nutrition. That's why your body's all fucked up, why you're fat, you got no nutrition at all. That's why you're gonna die early. If you don't get no supplements, you better go buy our supplements from us. You better get them supplements because you got no nutritional value.
Please.
This is a fact. What you say, Joby?
I'm telling them, please go get yourself some supplements.
You better. If you live in this country, you better do it.
Hey, call me a dreamy optimist if you will, but I want my food in my pantry to be waiting around for my great-grandchildren and their great-grandchildren to enjoy.
Yeah,
right?
in the zombie apocalypse, that'll come in handy.
And I mean, and if that ultra-processed food is made out.
Yeah, and now we got all new fake butter by Bill Gates, and they're like, "Oh, look how great this is! More fake shit! Oh, this is great!" See how the propaganda works? The media. Oh, Bill Gates is still solving a problem with the global climate change. You out of your rabbit ass mind.
Out of mostly plastic. I would only hope that by then they'd come up with a way to make my great-grandchildren out of plastic.
They are going to make them out of plastic.
Here's a news report covering this.
I'm so sorry. Rachel! Everyone wants to know, what's your secret for yet another?
New data released by the CDC shows an alarming nutrition reality for many kids and teens. Overall, we're eating less ultra-processed foods.
No, we're not. This is like the nutrition. We get no nutrition at all. Why we so fucked? I said you go 40 years ago. You didn't see a bunch of fat people in this. When I was a kid, with a bunch of fat people walking around here, our women were all fat. So common sense would tell me what something changed. Common sense was with this food we eating. It's all garbage and GMO. It's fake. It's not food at all. Instead, you get a box of some shit, it ain't even food. It's some made up shit that Bill Gates is throwing together. Oh, look at this climate change and carbon and shit. Oh, yeah. Some mad scientist shit.
Still make up more than 50% of the total calories we consume, a number that's even higher for children 18 years old and younger. To help us understand what this means, I'm joined by CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
And remember, this is going to be propaganda too. This is the cats that own this shit. The cats and the hats own CBS. So you're not going to get the truth. They know you're talking about it, but it's going to be askew and it's going to be fake and phony right here too.
They went
Thank
from
you so much for taking the time today. So,
did they just come from a Diddy white party?
Well, their clothes are still very white, so probably not.
Or maybe they're going to one after.
Yeah, they're probably going after.
what does this study tell us about our consumption of ultra-processed foods?
So the CDC study found that the average American adult gets more than half of their calories from ultra-processed foods, and it's even higher for kids and teens, over 60%. And what are some of the common foods that are driving this? Sandwiches, which actually surprised me.
Yeah, me too.
Baked goods, snacks, and sodas, sugary beverages. So,
yeah, lunch meat, not good for you. First of all, the bread isn't really bread. In France, it would be.
Yeah, the bread we eat is not even bread. The loaf of bread you buy in America is not even real bread. Ain't that funny? Ain't real bread, some made up. It's like the shit you eat, like off what they make sandals and shit from.
Yep, you. It looks really, really bad.
Because it is really, really bad, Joe.
Considered cake. So
you don't like cake sandwiches?
They put seed oil in your bread. They have seed oil. They have high fructose corn syrup. It's in your bread. Bread should have three. Bread should have three ingredients, right? Flour, yeast, water.
That's it.
What else do you put in bread?
Nothing.
Well, it's subsidized. It's how fluoride. They had this extra runoff fluoride that they decided to just put in the water for some reason.
Exactly. What talk about fluoride was putting your water in. Well, that what they did. They did it on purpose. They found out it makes you mentally stupid. It slows you down, lets you less cognitive to think. So understand, fluoride is a runoff of aluminum. But they had everybody so they control everything. Fluoride gets all in your toothpaste while you brushing your teeth with that shit and you're fucking your mind up. That's global. You know, where you got the toothpaste got fluoride in. Fluoride is a chemical byproduct of aluminum, guys. It goes to the brain, starts eating your brain away, and you become like, who am I? Where am I? I just used the bathroom. Should I wipe my ass? That's what fluoride does. Yeah. They put in all your water supply. Talking about it's there to help you. It's a lie.
That's what they do with fructose corn syrup. That's Warren Buffett who makes that money.
Get a loaf of bread and look at the ingredients. It should be 3 ingredients long. There's
garbage.
40.
Garbage.
So here we go.
The key thing to get across here is this is not.
And by the way, the lunch meat, no good. Turns out lunch meat, it's full of nitrates or something. I forget. I read an article about it recently.
That's what I've been making my salads with when I leave. Think I'm doing the right thing, and all the lunch meat's all fucked up because they ain't real. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm in this fucked up country. I can't even get lunch meat. Damn you, Joby. Get rocked.
It's horrible for you.
Yeah.
Lunch meat, not good. It increases colon cancer.
Damn, what?
Processed meat. That's
wow. Now I got to worry about my damn booty hole. Shit, I got goddamn colon cancer. My butthole gonna have cancer. I try to stay away from things that give me cancer, man. Now I'm supposed to you just can't do nothing in this country. They got everything so destroyed now. You can't eat nothing. It's all garbage. It's crazy.
So lunch meats are processed meats.
The fake meat.
That's different than eating a steak or a piece of chicken. When you have lunch meat, that meat has been highly processed and loaded with chemicals.
Not just about looking good and losing weight to fit into that dress. This actually has very real health impacts. So in addition to obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, stroke, kidney disease, cancer, the list goes on and on.
Everything, all this food, ain't it funny? All this food, they know this. All this food causes cancer, stroke, high blood pressure, damn diabetes, motherfucking blindness. You got a fucked up foot, your asshole bleeding. Yeah. But Bill Gates said have more of it. Here goes new butter. It ain't butter. Yeah, that sounds good. I need to have my asshole bleed even more.
Well, and we've had discussions before. You know, I'm going to out myself. I do consume ultra-processed foods in the form of energy drinks. I mean,
we all do, lady. We're talking about this. All our foods ultra-processed. They're in the form of just energy drinks. Get out of here. See, this is the propaganda you get. You go in the grocery store in America, all that shit is processed or GMO. You got fake. You ain't got no real watermelons in America. You go to the grocery store, none of them watermelons are real in there. They're all fake. You got to find yourself somebody on the street who still got a watermelon patch somewhere to get a real watermelon or any kind of real fruit. All this fake ass fruit cheese. Why the fuck would you even make all this fake shit? Because there's an agenda behind all this. I'm like, for my energy drink, lady, all of it's garbage. Not just your energy drink.
we know it's so bad for us.
I want to tell Joe jokes about I got an energy drink. Joe, you better throw that shit in the trash. Energy drink. Are you insane?
Why do so many of us continue to do it?
Look, these are foods that are cheap. They're convenient. You can find them everywhere. And on top of that, they're engineered to be addictive with the salt, sugar, fat, and also certain sensory.
Now, see how that grocery store, all this shit in America's grocery, all this shit on both aisles is garbage. All this shit is processed food on this aisle. This one aisle with all the aisles in America, all this shit, all of it's garbage. All of it. So where we go, all of this shit on this aisle, in this aisle is garbage. All of it.
Tricks like how those chips sound or how something smells. And so it's really meant to hijack the.
See all this fake bread? All this bread is fake. All this different kinds of bread. They got all these different kinds of names, but it's owned by the same fucking people. You think you're getting different varieties of bread. You're not. They own all the goddamn bread. Look at this shit. All this, and none of this bread is real bread. Don't be laughing. All this bread is garbage.
Well, I'm not sure also if you eat real bread, but I'm sure we are better than you guys. That's one thing for sure.
Well, I'll find out again if you got a lot of friends that got over to Africa. make your butthole bleed. Here we go.
Part of your brain that craves certain foods.
And I just want to go back to the health piece of what the majority of eating unprocessed foods, because you talked a little bit about some of the things like.
And then funny, we're so poor, you can't really find organic. And if you find organic food, which is normal in Africa, it's 10 times the cost. Ain't it funny? Processed food is cheap. The garbage is cheap. The real food is 10 times the cost. And can't nobody afford it, right? Like fast food in Africa is expensive, but the real shit is inexpensive. But fast food in America is cheap. The real shit is expensive. Make it make sense.
Cardiovascular disease, but dive a little bit more into the weight piece of it.
So there was a recent study out of the UK looking at people who had a diet of ultra-processed foods. It was improved to help them lose weight versus people who were having largely whole foods, homemade foods. And what they found is both groups did lose weight, but the group that was getting the homemade foods lost twice as much. And so what this really tells us is it's not just about the nutrients, because the nutrients, you know, the vitamins, the proteins, the fiber were the...
We're talking about the nutrients that our food is deprived of. There are no nutrients. If you don't get nutrients, that's the way you're supposed to keep your minerals, your body healthy. If you're not getting any nutrients, guys, you're collecting illness. Eventually, at the end of your life, it's accumulative. That's why you got to have some kind of supplements, because everything we eat is garbage. So you go, time you're 20, your body's got still full of nutrients. Time you get 30 and 40, all those nutrients are being sucked out because you're not being replaced by natural vegetables and fruits. Where you get the minerals from, good water, good. You eat nothing but garbage. Then you wonder why your butthole bleeding, why you're going blind, why you got diabetes, why you can't fucking walk straight, because you're mineral deficient. You've been eating this garbage food that you don't even know is garbage.
Same, actually. But it's that the processing itself is driving some of the weight gain.
That's fascinating, because you would think, okay,
So during COVID, we couldn't go out to restaurants, and I don't like to eat fast food. So I would make dinner every day. So I would have a couple of eggs for breakfast, no lunch, and then I'd make dinner. And I would make dinner home cooked. It would either be a Kobe beef hamburger, or it'd be an organic chicken, or it'd be pasta that came from Italy, so it doesn't have glyphosate on it. So, or it would be a salad. I'd always make Caesar salads. So these were not processed foods. And I was as thin as I've ever been since I was 20 years old.
Why can't I make any changes without an admin approval? Why?
With Monday, I was down to like 155 pounds. I was very thin. When I moved to LA, I was over 200. So that was just from cooking real food every day. And it's very similar to the real jokes I tell. Now, you can come see me in Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan.
All right, enough of that. But like I said, that's what's happening with us, and sadly, the fake foods that we've been eating. It's diabolical. It's some diabolical shit. So they practice here first, and they flood it everywhere around the world, and they force them to do it because, remember, they got control of the funny money system. And so you're going to be forced what they're forcing in Africa right now. But the GMOs want everything in there. And most Africans don't know that it's fake. You're going to be getting fake food, fake everything. And so now everybody's going to be running around all fat, fucked up. And sadly with Africa, they don't have the health care system built that would help this damn thing when you're getting all sick and fucked up. They got outdated health hospitals. Like shit. Only about watermelon with seeds, exactly, from black older men. You got to get them on. You damn sure buy them in the store. They're all fake. They're all fake. Man, you can't get a watermelon you can't get any real watermelon. Ain't this crazy? Can't get no real cantaloupe, no real honeydew. It's all fake. It's insanity. Yeah, let's do this garbage food and get me real best. Yeah, you got to do it yourself. It's crazy. That's why when I used to laugh when I went to Africa and the food tastes so different. I said, damn, this food's so bad. And the Africans were laughing. They were like, damn, this food's so goddamn good. Because it was, I said, goddamn. They look at me all crazy. What do you mean? Because they all conditioned. Well, you come from America. They got the best. I'm like, No, they don't. God damn, you can't tell these motherfuckers. They still mainly messed up. I mean, some African food. I was in Kenya or Tanzania eating it. Like, God, this food is so fresh. It's a real chicken. God damn.
I also see 10 speed. This says I haven't used a seed oil for a long time, but I have been on a lot of herbalist web pages to learn to eat and find out what is fake food. Jason
Yeah,
says some people be eating
I don't
parts
think
in food.
I bake everything at the house. One time I got you see those when I go to Popeyes or something. Eat that. I haven't eaten that in a couple of weeks. That's my one guilty pleasure. You guys will see me in none of the damn fast food restaurant as far as the hamburger joints. Only place I would go to I could eat would be Wendy's, but I don't be in the Burger King. Damn, McDonald's is out, out. But you know, McDonald's. I only go to Taco Bell, McDonald's. Hell, we got so many fast food restaurants here. It's crazy. We're the fast food kings of the world. You know, everything in America is fast food. When people are talking about they love that Chick-fil-A, I've never been there. It's full of all kind of chemicals and that shit. That ain't even chicken. That's dressing up something calling it chicken. There's nothing all chemicals in that. Where's the chicken at? It's all chemicals in that shit. So, I'm like, is there any chicken in this chicken? You got any chicken even in this chicken?
But I also see 10 speed says vitamin D3, magnesium, and super K2 doing with this stuff called nattokinase, not a lot of cholesterol and calcium out of my body.
Nobody no longer taking blood pressure. Good for you. Yeah, you got to get out. Yeah. And my blood pressure, because I gained all this weight, has been teetering too. As I said, I had to start working out because my blood. Because last time, you guys know, I told you I took her my 2 year. I took my physical, and the lady put my thing and said, "Oh, you got a problem with blood pressure?" I said, "What? Blood pressure? Yeah, it's getting kind of high." I'm like, oh shit, I got to start working out and just stop eating. Get everything in control because we're at the age. Like I said, it's been accumulative. I've been eating garbage for so long that it's done damage over so many years. It's an accumulative thing. So we're at the age where it all catches up now. If you don't completely change your diet and also get minerals in you, as Black people, you got to go get these. We have to have minerals, guys, because of our melanin. We have to have us being mineral deficient. It's a death sentence for us. We must have minerals to support our melanin, or we're going to die. Because our body has more minerals in it, and as we lose minerals, we're out of here. So you got to get the magnesium, the calcium, the copper, the zinc. You got to get that in your body, or you're on your way out the door. So,
Yeah, but maybe you can share the conversation about the hurricane as we get started.
All right, okay. You guys remember that? I don't know if I can share that video because I don't know. No, I can't share that one on Hulu because they'll say it's copyrighted. And you guys don't know. You guys remember Hurricane Katrina, right? 20 years ago today. And if you guys have Hulu, it's gonna be a couple of weeks. We're gonna do the whole thing when they bring it. So I think they're gonna let it go to Netflix or Amazon. But right now, it's exclusively on the Hulu site, right? The Hulu webbing streaming TV system that we have an account on too. You guys remember me being not that far from New Orleans? Like I said, I was part of that devastation, right? Because I had to go back in right after that and see what was going on. Oh yeah, have Joby. Yeah, Joby. Yeah, that's good. Have people talking about it on TikTok. And so the racism in America was really, sometimes the racism is undercover, right? So because no natural disasters happened, but at that time the racism was stripped bare. It was stripped bare because in survival mode, you get to see how really people feel about you, there's no pretense. There's no more putting on a fake face. You can't pretend that America's not the racist country it's always been. Because during this disaster, which wiped out the whole city, wiped it out, And like I said, I was on the ground at the time, right after it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was devastating. Devastating. I remember that Walmart thing. If you guys ever been to New Orleans, you guys know there's bridges, long bridges to come into New Orleans from both sides, right? Those bridges were wiped out, so you couldn't get into the city. And they made that makeshift bridge. Now, I mean, they got a new one up now, but to get you in the city, they made a makeshift bridge to get you in, coming from the north going to the south, and from the west coming in from the east. Both those bridges were destroyed, so you couldn't get in the city unless you took what they call US 90. Anyway, if you guys know, I know you guys might not be familiar with New Orleans, so you have to take US 90 coming all the way around the city from Lafayette all the way down, right? You all right, Joby? Yeah, go to bed. So, like I said, the devastation was apocalyptic. And I've seen it and I've been in war zones, but New Orleans was shocking because it was so racially biased. And if you guys remember, at that time, how the news was betraying black people and white people in different narratives. So as things ran out and the city flooded because all the levees had broke, right? All the levees had broke. Black people were in survival mode. And so the few places that they could go and get food, what they were going to try to get food, raiding all this water. But the media was calling us black savages, black looters, black thieves. And then called us black refugees. How are we going to be refugees in our own country? How am I a refugee and I'm a United States citizen? So black people are called refugees in their own country. Look at these black. I should probably put up because it's a famous thing that Will Blitzer said. Look at them. They're so bad. They're so black. You know, like he said. Look at them. They're all so black. right. Will Blitzer said they're in dire straits and they're all so black. He said, "Oh, look at them. They're all so black." I'm gonna see what on YouTube. It's funny. It is crazy because the way he said, "So look at the dire. They're all so desperate," and he said they're all so black. He said, "I'm crazy." So we were all so black. So anyway, so the situation. Remember, so black people trying to get out of the city to get to because remember they were left there by FEMA, and at that time George Bush Jr. was the president. And wasn't no supplies getting in because they was black. Remember at that time, really, New Orleans was an overwhelmingly black city. Today, it's probably more half and half. It might be not even majority black no more. But at that time, New Orleans was an overwhelmingly black city. Overwhelmingly black. You felt the culture. When you went to New Orleans, you guys have been in New Orleans, you felt the culture in New Orleans was like no other place in America. That black culture there. They kept a lot of, it was a lot of those African traditions that was still allowed. So you can't tell me you're no Indian because that culture in New Orleans is African. You can trace that shit back to Africa, Jack. Everything. The celebration, because when people die in New Orleans, they don't cry. They celebrate. They party and shit. They party through the streets. That was African. Africans didn't cry when nobody died because they know this is an illusion, right? So when people die in New Orleans, it'd be a party in the street. People dancing, having a good time and playing music and wishing that person, well, you'll be back if you don't know how to get out of here. So New Orleans was always the most African city in America, as far as culturally. It was the most African city in America culturally. So when it was completely devastated, remember the people that finally got there and left, they never came back. Because remember, they never rebuilt those parts of the city. And remember you heard back then, you heard the damn white politicians, let New Orleans die. You know, care about these N words. Let the city just be. They said they weren't going to rebuild the city. Let it die. That's what it was all in time. Let the city die. It is garbage. These Negroes, you know. But New Orleans has tourism because of the culture. They don't care about that. They let these Negroes die. Don't even rebuild this city. Let it go. Blow it up. But you kept hearing. Now, you guys remember, as you come into New Orleans from the north, coming south, there was a big amusement park. It's a big amusement park that they just made called Six. You guys know Six Flags. It's all over the country, right? Every place in America has what they call a Six Flags amusement park. So New Orleans had one called Six Flags Jazz or something. They had just opened. That whole thing got destroyed. That whole amusement park. The roller coasters all messed up, all blown up. It never recovered. They never reopened it. So, because as you go into New Orleans, coming southbound, you look to the left side, there's that amusement park. It stayed messed up for years. It stayed effed up for years. And so people understand when this hit, remember, New Orleans, even though it's a very poor city, full of poverty. So not only could these people not get out, they didn't have the money to get out of there. Most people didn't have cars. You know, in America, we don't have our bus system worse than the one in Kenya. We don't have buses to get people up out of that. That's just a fact, you know, because everything's built for the car. So most poor people didn't have cars, didn't have vehicles to get in and out of there. So they were left to die. So, you know, they didn't have the money to get out. And Ray Nagin, this moron, the black mayor, he's done. Anybody know Ray Nagin? I think they locked it. Remember, I think they locked his ass up because of the thing was so bad. Only he was held responsible for what happened in New Orleans, the deaths, the murders, the rapes. Only he was held responsible. George Bush, nothing. The governor of the whole state, nothing. The white governor, forgot her name, the white governor, nothing happened to her. But the mayor of the city, I think Ray Nagin went to prison because what was done in that city was absolutely catastrophic. The raping of people in the Superdome, the murder, babies just floating in the damn thing. You had gators running around there eating people and shit. You know, it was just crazy. But the devastation, when I went, I was like, God damn. When I went, I said, this is fucking apocalyptic. So I remember telling my wife, I was like, God damn, this is fucking crazy. You go on there, everything, because it didn't come back. It took a long time for New Orleans to get back on its feet again, right? Years. It was devastated for years. Like I said, half that population got it. They either went to other parts of Louisiana, or they went over to Texas, over to Houston. A lot of them went to Houston, and that's why Houston said these New Orleans people raised the crime rate in Houston. These New Orleans people, when they crime, right? Anyway, but I'm gonna let Joey share some of these videos, but it shows you during the rough times how they were trying to openly murder black people. Remember, some black people tried to walk across this bridge to go to the next county. The white people said, "You better not come in here. We're gonna kill every one of you." Not that they needed help. They were starving. People were dying. People were sick. Not to say, "Oh, you all American." This is for you FBA morons. The white people say, "Oh, you're FBA. Come on over here, let us help you." White people say, "You better not come across that bridge. We're gonna put a bullet in your head. We're not here to help you. We're gonna put a bullet in your fucking head." That's what they told black people. Okay, and they were shooting people for looting stores because they were home, with no help getting to them. But white people, they weren't getting shot. White people, oh, look at the white people trying to survive. This is what the news was saying. Shout out to Kanye, said the truth. News said, oh, look at the white people. And this is a fact. I remember like it's yesterday. Look at the white people trying to survive, going to stores, taking stuff for their family, trying to survive. Us, look at these dirty niggas in the stores, looting and stealing. What are they doing? Completely two different narratives. In your face. In the media. Crazy. But go ahead, Joe. Share some video.
Okay.
Yeah, they came to Atlanta too. Yes, right. That's right, James. They went all the way up to Atlanta. They went to Atlanta, Houston, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette was the main places they went to. They went all the way up to Atlanta, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and over to Houston. Go ahead, Joe.
That was not a hurricane. That was not a natural disaster. That was mass genocide.
Mm-hmm.
That was all about a land grab.
Yep.
That was all about gentrification.
Yep.
This reminds me of exactly what happened in Oscarville, Georgia, when it was flooded and they created Lake Lanier. 20 years later, and the truth is finally starting to come to the light.
Out.
Everything the media told us 20 years ago
was a lie.
An absolute lie.
Yeah, they flooded that city to get that land and to get them niggas out of it. We want this city back. We need to get these niggas out of here. Now we gotta murder them where murder they ask. This is your good American. You're American, you FBA Indian niggas. This is your good FBA. It was a land grab. Kill these niggas. Let's get rid of them. Let's kill them. Get them out of here. This your country. You say you're American and you with white folks and all sort of nonsense you say on your top feed. Go ahead, Joe.
Came out with a documentary regarding Hurricane Katrina, and it exposed so many things that a lot of us knew for so long. Not only that, there are so many survivors speaking out on TikTok that are sharing their stories. And when I tell you, it is gut-wrenching. It is horrifying. It is.
And this is what Joe be saying about history. If you don't know your African history and it don't affect you a certain way, you're messed up in the head. This whole documentary will destroy you. It'll break your heart to the core. Go ahead, Joe.
Nightmare.
And this is who these people are.
All I'm gonna say is, if you have not watched this documentary, please go watch it. Follow the hashtag, y'all. These stories are so mind-blowing that I can't even put them into words right now. It's unreal, y'all.
This latest Hurricane Katrina Race Against Time documentary got me so mad, had me so emotional, on the verge of crying. And it also educated me a lot on what I thought I knew, but also what I forgot. But first of all, I was in the 12th grade when Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. And I know I was watching the news, but to revisit this event was so eye-opening. What I learned, or rather relearned, is that most people survived the actual hurricane that took place, like the first day of it.
Yeah,
but when those levees burst,
out.
Like I knew about that back then, but to watch it in this documentary and to watch the impact of the flooding and how the water just washed away so many parts of New Orleans was just like, wow. And the documentary shows you in real time as to the minutes, hours that everything started to crumble. What really got me upset is FEMA and the government. What got me upset again? The fact that the government was withholding aid because they felt as if the victims of Hurricane Katrina were not acting right is completely
They said they were black people and they deserve no aid and let them die.
Like there were so many rumors going around that there was looting, people were shooting, people were fighting, people were getting murdered. And those rumors really impacted the amount of help that these victims were supposed to get. For example, there were supposed to be a set amount of helicopters and buses that were supposed to transport those people from the Superdome. And whoever started the rumor that people were getting shot at, like the helicopters were getting shot at, that really held up the process of people getting help. And it was almost as if the government was saying, until these people, these victims act right, until they get on their best behavior, that's when we're going to send some help. And to me, it felt like it was given slavery. Because when they actually put those people from the Superdome and the convention center on those planes, and they took them elsewhere, first of all, they didn't even tell them where they were going.
There was shooting, lady.
They started to call them Hurricane Katrina refugees.
Refugees, exactly. You American city, how the fuck am I a goddamn refugee in the country I'm from? And it was openly on, like I said, I'm just so I can find that thing with Joe keep doing these bills. I remember what Blitzky, I was sitting with my wife, like, Like, what? These refugees, they're so despair and they're so black. Like, what? I look at myself, did this motherfucker just say they so black? This motherfucker just said this shit? To look at them, there's such despair and they're so black. My God, the racism is palpable. It's so dirty and black. Go ahead, Jordan.
I'm gonna say it. They were treating those people like slaves, and it was disgusting to watch.
It was showing that you were a black
but
lady.
Also
educating.
educating.
That's what they really feel about you.
8 episodes. Ryan Coogler produced it. I will watch it again. 20 years later, and I feel horrible that all those people not only lost their homes, so many family members lost their relatives, and they were never able to rebuild or recover. It's horrible. And on top of this, they rebuilt those levees. They said that in years' time, they're going to need to rebuild them again. It's crazy.
Hurricane Katrina Race Against Time is on Hulu right now. And if you want to learn the facts about what happened in Katrina, you need to watch this. I thought the worst part was the hurricane itself. And then I thought when the levees broke and it flooded the entire fucking city of New Orleans, I thought that was the worst thing that could fucking happen to them. Not only did they lose their homes, but they had to come to the Superdome, all crowded together. Everything got messy, dirty. It was nasty. They had nowhere to poop or because the toilets were broke. This was a horrible situation. They were out there for about 2-3 days. So I'm like, what is the worst that can happen? Oh, after losing their homes, after losing family, after struggling to get to safety, for survival, they decided that they was going to steal food from stores and water and clothes. And after doing all that, for survival, they are called animals, thugs, and refugees.
Exactly.
And to add gasoline to the fire, the military was there because they thought that they were being violent. You lost your entire home. Everything that you built and fought for in your life is gone.
Let me share this,
including people that you know.
Get done, Joby. Let me share this. I found. Listen, they're so poor and so black.
Have passed away because of
Joby
a fucking
so
levee
poor and so
and flooding the entire fucking town. And what they're just supposed to act calm and happy and just wait. And you want to send a military and they want to point their weapons at them? And kids? Tragedy. This guy right here, the general, he did his fucking thing. 10 civilians were killed during this by police officers.
There's more than that.
I didn't know that. About 1 million people.
More than that.
And moved
away. They were murdered by the police trying to get aid.
I think
they were black.
Especially if you don't know that much about it.
Just like Joby, so poor and so black. Let me share my screen. Oh, Joe, let me share my, keep your thing. Let me take your screen down, Joe. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
You're so poor and so black, Joby. How dare you be so poor, Joby, so black. See which one what's going to work first. Okay, let's go here. You go with this one first. This might be a long one. Let's see this one. You see, he called them so poor and so black. Let me do this one first. I might the longer version.
You simply get chills every time you see these poor individuals. As Jack Cafferty just pointed out so tragically, so many of these people, almost all of them that we see, are so poor and they are so black. And this is going to raise lots of questions for people.
They're so poor and they're so black. They're so poor, Joby. It's so black.
Amazing.
Hey, YouTubers, it's been 5 amazing years of boosting creators like you. 56,000
individuals continuing to do what we've been seeing for days now, simply walking through the water.
Remember, there's gators out there too. It's New Orleans, so there's alligators all in that shit. It was he's in a low area because the water was so high it would cover your head, almost 6-8 feet. So he's in a minor part, right? That's not that bad. Whole city was gone. Ain't like Nairobi, you got one part that was flooded. Whole city was gone. Whole city was flooded. Whole city. Right? And you got fucking gators all up in that shit you can't even fucking see. big ass alligators in that shit. But and you know the fact was they were so poor and so black and they're so black. This how deep the racism go. This is not. This is CNN worldwide. CNN. They're so poor and so black.
We have to assume it's disgusting water and rapidly becoming disease-filled water, just trying to get to some location with what meager possession they have. We see that picture over and over and over again. As much as you see that,
the whole city, they won't want air. The whole city was gone. Whole city was underwater. People's houses were underwater. People's houses were taking out the foundation. People on their roofs trying to survive. When the water got over the roof, they were done. Remember, like Joe, a lot of black people don't know how to swim, so they were dead and stinking. Black people don't know how to swim, sadly enough.
Picture though, you simply get chills every time you see these poor individuals, as Jack Cafferty just pointed out so tragically. So many of these people, almost all of them that we see, are so poor and they are so black. And this
all of them are so poor, Joby, and so black.
So racist. So racist.
Joby, you're so poor and you're so black.
So racist. This is so crazy. I don't think we've discussed this history. So
no. We're not. I wanted to share it to you this weekend, but I know I couldn't get you. So I don't think we could get Hulu. We never talked about this. Yeah, because we didn't talk about Joe because you're so poor and so black.
Oh my God! I can swim jibba jabba. Don't let Keith lie to you. I can swim. I can. I can.
Joby can wade. She can wade.
Did y'all hear about all of the
Joby don't even want to get on the boat and go to islands.
But I can swim. I try. At least I do try. You know.
I ain't gonna help you.
During Hurricane Katrina. Yes, and a lot of these crimes that were committed were by people that were not originally criminals before the hurricane hit. Like y'all be side-eyeing people that's in prison, but it's a lot of people who walk in the streets that have sick, twisted things in their mind, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. And the guards were checking the women when they came into the Superdome to make sure they didn't have any weapons on them, and a lot of them didn't have anything. But my thing is, if you're gonna remove my weapons, take my weapons, make sure I don't have anything, you need to be protecting me as well. Like y'all wanted these people to get hurt. I'm talking about kids were not even safe going to the bathroom. Like it was morbid. Then they were storing all of the unalived and, decapitated bodies inside of the freezer and then sat up here and lied to us.
Yeah, what you 20 people, well, they said, nah, hundreds of people got
a lot
died
of
out
the
there.
unalivings that happened there were not crime related.
Exactly.
How did y'all lie like that? Like women and children being raped and decapitated, how
being
is that
raped,
not crime related?
decapitated.
They definitely didn't pass away from the hurricane. Like y'all are sick. These people were in a state of crisis and y'all took advantage of them. Like sick.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear about all of the women and children that were raped and decapitated in a super?
Yep.
That was not a hurricane.
Yeah, got the heads chopped off
already. I just felt like I was just gonna pass out and die at any time.
They were so black and so they were so poor and so black.
Like I was just gonna pass out and die at any time. But also the kids didn't have no more food and they were dehydrated, their lips
they
was
left
turning
them
white.
there.
So through the shame and the embarrassment and the guilt, the only thing I could do is just use the little strength I got to try to get these children some help.
Amen.
So when the media came out there with their cameras and all that, I had my 2 little babies in my hand and I just went to hollering on the camera.
We didn't have no walls, too. We didn't have no food. We don't have
Baby,
nothing. If we kept our children been out here for days, they don't have nothing to eat. We don't have no cold water. We don't have nobody. We got babies that's hungry.
Send people to get the fuck out of here, folks.
We hungry, we starving, we need help. We need medical attention. They got old people that's sick. They got
people dying in wheelchairs.
I felt like the city that we masked in all these years and paraded in with the second lines and, worked in and built these raggedy houses and, that they just let us down. Like at this time to them, it was like we wasn't even human no more.
You didn't mean that. You're black. You're not human.
people still in New Orleans if they leave the
Damn,
sky
I
saw
feel
Air
you,
Force
Grandma.
One. The president flying over.
If you really want to know how catastrophic Hurricane Katrina was, watch this. You will cry. You will be angry. But watch it.
I need troops, man. Thousands of newly arrived guardsmen have been ordered to take the city back from armed looters.
Take the city back from armed looters. They weren't armed. How they had no guns? They were going to get food because there was no food there for days. Babies were starving. But white people were doing it. They were not getting shot. It was the black people that were getting shot. We're trying to get food to save themselves. Go ahead, Joe. Because the black people were so poor and so black.
Working God-fearing people that just happen to be poor. Is martial law in effect there? I don't know why that isn't in effect.
Listen to this racist ass bastard here. Remember, this Bill O'Reilly racist ass. This damn. But I'm glad they finally fired his ass. Remember, because he was raping women in Fox. He's just raped his ass. You need to put martial law on these Negroes and beat them with weapons. Why is not martial law? Why would you have martial law during a disaster and no one's getting fed? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Go ahead.
Well, the martial law comes from the United States Congress. It is a complicated process. Would you request martial law? I've already called for martial law in the city of New Orleans.
You can't get predicated on martial law when the whole city's done. Whole city's destroyed. No one's never lost the whole city. This whole city gone.
Redeploying 1,500 city police tonight, he says, taking them off the search for survivors, putting them instead on the search for looters.
Search for looters. What are you talking about? You got nothing that can stop that can bring food into us. You brought no food in here. This goes on for days. With no food, you got children starving to death. Got old people in wheelchairs all fucked, dying. I'm going out in this water to go against these alligators and deadly snakes out here to find some damn food, some waterlogged food in some of these stores. How's it gonna be loot when all these stores are gone? You can't rebuild. They gotta be torn down because they're all waterlogged. What are you talking about? Looting what? These stores are gone. They can't be salvaged. The water's all up in the stores. So you got to tear the building down to rebuild it. You can't keep the thing once it's got that much water in it. It's got to be destroyed. Every contractor, everybody's built anything knows that. Once it gets water in there, you can't save it. It's got to be knocked down. So what are you talking about? Looting what? Looting what? Talking about looting and people. Those stores are gone. They're going to get write-offs anyway from the insurance companies. See, because it's black folks. Black folks are supposed to die because we're so poor and we're so black. Go ahead, Joe.
I was in the Hyatt Hotel along with the rest of the executive staff of the mayor. It was at that point that Police Chief Compass came into the room where the mayor and I were. He said, "I've got a problem."
And like I said, all that shit they did tear down.
Cleared out, and the police chief said last night, one of our officers was just shot in the head.
New Orleans police officer Kevin Thomas stopped 4 suspicious men at this Chevron in the city's West Bank. 3 cooperated, but when he went to frisk the 4th, a bullet from a .45 ripped through his head. A savage attack that almost took his life. He had situations where people were actually shooting at the police, but in the case of Kevin Thomas, where he actually got shot in the head.
Chief Compass knew the officer, and he became very emotional. That's when the mayor responded to the.
Remember, and almost forgot, a lot of New Orleans police officers committed suicide, dude. I forgot about that. Not this shit. Remember, I don't know if they're going to show. A lot of New Orleans cops took their own lives because it was so overwhelming. The devastation was so overwhelming that a lot of New Orleans police officers took their own lives, committed suicide during this period of time. I wonder if they're going to, see, I never got through the whole thing. I wonder if they're going to mention that. A lot of these New Orleans police shot themselves in the head or did something, they committed suicide because the whole thing was overwhelming. The devastation was overwhelming. Go ahead, Joe.
You do whatever you need to do to get this back under control.
Tonight, in a rare move, practically unheard of in the United States, martial law declared.
I told my officers the rules of engagement are still in effect. We are not shooting looters. I am not condoning the use of.
Oh, now they saying it now. They're not looters because they're in survival mode. Those businesses are already gone because they're already flooded, moron. So, but they only do this with black people. Those businesses are going to have to be destroyed, tear down. So now he says, "Oh, I told my officers that," because now he's trying to say 20 years later, "I told my officers we're not shooting anybody." Then how come all the people getting fucking shot then? Because they're not looters. This is survival mode. This is Mad Max right here, buddy. This is Mad Max. But the white people were never shot at, and they were never called looters. Isn't that funny? The white people who were getting food out of it were never called goddamn looters. Were never called, oh, they're so white and so poor. Only black people, oh, look at them, they're so poor, so black. You black poor niggas.
About that.
Military police coming in.
Military police. They're breaking in their houses. What are you breaking into people's houses for?
Disaster. You know, and I couldn't be in the minds of 1,300 police.
I still say today we didn't have a crime problem during Katrina.
No, we never crime.
We had an evacuation problem. We had to come in.
Exactly. So that's the black general that he was actually good. Of course, you had no crime problem. People were starving and dying. What crime? The crime is that they're black and they're not allowed to go get food and feed their children. They're supposed to die in the eyes of white America. They're supposed to die. Okay, let's get this on. That's why you can go on the real primetime news and say, oh, they're so poor and so black.
We had transportation issues to get people out as quick as we could, but it wasn't a crime problem. But boy, we got a lot of troops and police on the street. We are ready. Nobody's going to loot this town.
Exactly. We had a lot of troops on the street for what?
People in the building don't get fucking died.
Exactly. People died, and you're talking about some goofy looting. People died because to black people, you're supposed to have this kind of response to us, not to help and save our lives because we're so poor and black. You're not supposed to save our lives. You're supposed to see if somebody's looting some food because we're starving. So we're going to get a bullet in the head because we ain't ate in 4 days. Go ahead,
There was a baby, hair freshly combed, that was in the water. And she was deceased, but I so wanted to get this baby out the water.
When a white baby.
And I told the guy that was driving the boat, I said, there's a baby right there. So let me get the baby and I'll take her to someone on the bridge and maybe we can find out who her parents is. You know, he said, that baby's gone. She's deceased. And I was like, anyway, just let me get her, out the water and I'll take her to the bridge and maybe, the ambulance or something up there is waiting and they can take her and they can identify.
So black. It's going to die. No, the baby's poor and black. No. Good. Oh, Joe, you skipped it.
They are so poor.
That was not Eric.
There was a baby. I'll take her to someone on the bridge and maybe we can find out who her parents is. He said, that baby's gone. She's deceased. And I was like, anyway, just let me get her, out the water and I'll take her to the bridge and maybe, the ambulance or something up there is waiting and they can take her and they can identify her. And he took a stick or some kind of board he had
pushed away
in the boat and he pushed the baby away.
That's
he was like, ma'am, we're worried about the living, not the dead right now. We have to get the living.
They are so poor and they are so black. what did he mean by that? I want to ask that question, but I understand. They don't view us as human at the end.
Exactly.
So obviously, it's something derogatory.
Of course.
But what is so desensitizing, what I've been desensitized to, is the fact that they really don't view us as human. I want to watch the Katrina documentary.
The hate is so
that shit
real,
is so
globally.
exhausting, bro. Seeing how
African people understand this.
They could have paid camera crews instead of emergency services. They could have saved so
Pause
many.
it, pause it, pause
They
it,
decided to
pause it, Joey. Because they enjoy seeing you all fucked up. Fuck emergency. I want cameras showing these niggas for white America in the world. Look how poor and black they are. Ooh, these niggas are all fucked up. Woo, hell yeah. This is poverty porn. Look at these niggas wading in this water. Hope a crocodile gets one of these bastards. Shit. This is, man, you got people in middle America, their dicks getting hard. Looking, ooh, shit, making my dick hard. Ooh, some more poverty. These niggas good. Go ahead, Joe. Because they're so black.
Afforded because it was black people, so they were expendable.
That's right.
And what is so particularly evil about them, the way they treated it like a science project. Like they were just viewing how people would react, black people would react to it. And it's just like, man, it's a daily reminder.
Yes, young man.
That, and then not to mention, don't forget the people here, the non-black people who gaslight you into thinking that racism is just some idea. Like it's not tangible, it's not physical, it's not emotional, systematic. It's not
like that moronic ass South African I was dealing with over the weekend. Shout out to the South Africans understand that we can black people be racist. No, you can't. You got no power, stupid. Racism is a power dynamic, moron. You know what you're talking about. You're stupid. Go ahead, Joe.
It's not everything. Redlining, whatever you want. Every facet of life has to do with our color if you're black. And the Katrina documentary, although exhausting and another form of black plight in this country, it's another foolproof example of how ignorant you have to be to deny what racism is in this country.
This video is sponsored.
Yes, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's so many videos, so many reaction videos, but let me go to the comments as we continue. Left earlier where 10 Speed was saying, shout out to Aaron James and everyone with us on the chat. 10 Speed earlier was saying, did you see Chicago? About 30,000 kids on my block, 6 kids got shot. TikToker named J. Roy threw a black party. I recorded that message from my house. It was wild. 6 kids got shot. Dang.
No, I haven't heard anything about it. 10 Speed.
Me too, neither. I also see, just a minute. I see Jason says just like folks were partying when that plantation house went up. He also says Louisiana has a lot of valuable materials under those grounds. Jason also adds, when my mother used to go back to Louisiana with her sister and brother, they used to gamble on the river boat. Danny Harrison Karibu says, yeah, Kanye West got on TV and said Bush didn't care about the black people. And so see, Jason says a lot of folks from Louisiana came to California and Houston, Texas, at that particular
I know they came to Houston. I know they went out to California. I know they came to Houston. I know they went westward also to Atlanta, like Aaron is saying. I know that someone went to Atlanta, some went to Houston, and then some stayed within Louisiana, went to some of the other cities in Louisiana, like Shreveport and Baton Rouge. I know a lot of them came over out to LA. That's a long way to go.
Shout out to Jibba Jabba. Jason says now all these floods are going on, wiping the white folks towns now. I also see Danny says a black
and pause. Yes, remember last week I was out that way while the floods happened. I was out in El Paso and I came back to that area where the floods happened. And they got people out there helping all kind of shit, rebuilding all that shit already. None of that with the white kids. Oh, they say, look at these white kids all poor and dirty or something like poor and white. He said, oh my God, what a tragedy. We got to help anything they need. See what he did from us. And when I went past that, They're already rebuilding all that shit. So you don't know what it is in this country. I don't know, and globally, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a moron, keep telling you racism don't exist, you're stupid. Get away from me. Now keep explaining.
Danny Harrison says a black man got on TV and said he had a
Loud
found
explosion.
a loud explosion. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
before the city flooded. And I also see Jibba Jabba says one wasn't New Orleans known as Chocolate City.
One of the chocolate cities been gentrified now. Remember, you had these were your chocolate cities. The nation's capital was known as the real chocolate city, DC. No longer is now. They got gentrified there. Yeah, Atlanta was a chocolate city. I think Atlanta's still a chocolate city. New Orleans was considered a chocolate city. Majority black. Memphis, Tennessee was considered a chocolate city. So they've been steady gentrifying our ass out of there. Get us, you know, they don't want us to live nowhere. That's the crazy part. Where are we supposed to live at? Nowhere.
John Mosquito says Hurricane Katrina was in the news for months over and never forget. I shout to you, John Mosquito Caribou. And yeah, like I said, I can swim, leave alone, kid alone. I also see Jason says bodies were bursting open from the carbon monoxide gas, especially fox livestock. Um, and I also see Jones who says that's equivalent to being a dirty nigger. I know that's right. And yes, say
What happened? What have I been a dirty in with what Joey said again?
he says that's close to being a dirty nigger. You know.
Oh, yeah, that's why they say so poor, so black.
I know. So says when white people numbers completely drop, the ones left, I don't even feel sorry for their going to
Me neither.
to get rid at the end. And shout out to George Guy also in the building. I saw you earlier. Um, which other comment? And Spiros, a lot of them went to Memphis and the crime went off the roof. Um, Jason says, especially with a switch. Okay, let me leave that alone. 10 Speed says, my godfather said he had the sounds of the bomb when the hurricane hit. George
Okay,
Guy
okay.
is
So your uncle was down there, your cousin was down there. Okay, okay.
George Guy says 20 years later I'm still poor and so black. Please don't call the cops.
Yeah, you're gonna ship your poor black ass back to Jamaica, Negro. Since you're so poor and so black up in Canada, we're gonna ship you back to Jamaica. How dare you?
You before we get closer to maybe white.
Worry about how I got stranded at a prison during a Category 5 hurricane and had to escape with my life.
Dang.
We are approaching the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and
Caught up in
this
the
is a
prison.
story that I really have not told in depth for a while. A lot of my family members know the story, but I really haven't discussed it in detail in a minute because it's been so long. But I've seen other people on here giving their testimonies, so I decided to come on here and tell my child. It's August 2005. I'm 20 years old. I'm still living at home with my parents, and I have my first big boy job at the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office as a sheriff deputy. My family does not play when it comes to hurricanes and tropical storms, so they pack up and they leave town.
Got out of there.
I want to be grown, decided that I was going to
You're gonna
stay
stay
and help
right
out
out.
at work during a storm. I said, it ain't going to be that bad because
Well,
in
you
my
know,
lifetime, we had
Sorry for laughing, but it's the I wanna be grown part for me. You
Yeah,
know?
nothing wrong with that. You got to sorry about laughing. It's funny, it's
I-
funny.
really seen any bad hurricanes.
But most
So I
people didn't
said,
have the money to get out of there. Sadly, most black people being poor and so black, they didn't have the money to get out of the hurricane. They couldn't evacuate because they were poor and black.
Maybe Jabba Jabba, you can check on your device because the volume on my end is very much okay.
it'll be
Yeah,
that
I
bad.
heard
I'm gonna
good.
stay and I'm gonna work. I'm gonna make this extra money because I had just bought a new car and I needed to pay that damn car note. So the storm is coming close, it's barreling towards the Gulf Coast. I pack a bag, I get a blanket, I put all of my clothes from the closet on top of my bed in a plastic bag because that's the only thing I knew how to do. My mom and dad had put the sofas on bricks in case flood waters came in. And I left. I headed downtown towards the sheriff's office, towards the jail to start my shift, which I didn't know at the time would be the shift from hell. At the time, I was working at central lockup and processing, which means that people that would come into jail we would do the processing and getting them on to the next stage where they was going to be at in the facility. Honestly, the night started like any other night. I pulled up to work. My coworkers slash friends told me to park on a nearby overpass. This overpass, my car is at the top of this overpass. She told me to park on this overpass just in case the streets flooded, that my car wouldn't get flooded and I'll be somewhere be safe. Yada yada yada.
I know that's
Get
right,
to
Jim.
work. It's nighttime.
I'm
I'm
so
on the night
poor. I'm so poor and black. That's why I don't own a piano.
shift. And all of us is there. Most of everybody
Joby
that's
got a
that works
piano.
at the
I
sheriff's
don't.
office was there.
Wow.
People had brought George Foreman grills, meat to grill, snacks, food. We had music. We was gonna camp out. We was gonna camp out and get this money and go home the next day. But it didn't work out like that. We didn't have that many people come in to get processed. So most of the time we was just sitting around talking and chatting. The storm is getting closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, boom, the lights go out. Now, you might say that don't mean nothing. It's a storm. The lights are of course gonna go out. No. We are in, at the time, a state of the art prison jail. We have generators. There's no reason that the lights should be going out. Well, they went out. So the storm is passing. So we go outside and, it's rainy, it's windy, go back in, whatever. We can't do nothing about it. At a certain point, the storm went on and passed over us. We go back outside because one of my coworkers says, it's flooding outside.
The levees broke.
Now, if you grew up in this area, you know that it floods. So that's not nothing. We go outside and it's indeed flooding. But this flooding was a little different from any flood that I've ever noticed.
The levees are
This
broke.
flood actually was up to people's car doors, like the bottom of the car doors of the cars that was outside.
They're going
And I
higher and
remember
higher.
stopping and thinking, like, dang, that's a lot of water. And it was just so calm outside because the storm had done passed. It was calm. It wasn't raining anymore. And I was like, damn, that's so weird that this water is so high. And it just was like raining and windy for just a little while. Go back inside.
All the
An
water
hour
kept
or
coming.
two later, now the water is coming into the building where we are. It's only a one-story building where we had where processing was at,
Oh, can't go
and
upstairs.
the water is starting to come in. So we are looking around like what the hell is going on? When the fish started coming in, is when the captain said, "We can't stay in here anymore. We have to go." The previous sheriff had a catfish and tilapia farm that was located right across the street from Central Processing and Booking. So while it was flooding, the fishes from the fish farm were getting out and swimming all around, including inside Central Processing and Booking. While we were attempting to move to higher ground, we get a call from next door where we have the dorms or the cells, whatever you
Sales.
want to call them.
They're dying. They're about to get
And
flooded.
they're saying that they had some unruly inmates on the first floor and they needed help moving them up to the second level of the
You
building.
can be able these inmates.
Now the
I'm gonna let these
water is
motherfuckers
way
die.
up. It's past midnight. It has to have been
Fighting and
like
acting
it's
crazy,
like an
stabbing my ass. Nah.
past midnight. The water's up to my waist. We're going to this other portion of the jail to help get these inmates up to the second level. There's fish swimming around us. It's insane. We get to the dorm that they're having issues with, and the inmates are just unruly. They going off, they're busting, rightfully so,
Yeah.
because nobody really knows what's
Right.
going on. Nobody knows that this is about to be a life changing event.
Yeah.
But
Nobody
the
knows it's
water
a
is
disaster.
inside the prison. It's inside the cells. They have to move them all to the second level. We get them all to the second level. I remember when we first got to that door, they were attempting to put a mattress on the door and light the mattress afire in order to try to break the door down. But we got in and we got out and we put them up to the second level. I remember thinking as I was walking off, leaving that dorm, this is going to be a crazy night. I just remember saying that to myself. We get back to central processing and booking, and my captain is like, grab all your belongings that you could grab. We're going to go across the street to this building. Let me show you. This building is another jail within the Orleans Parish jail system. This building was called CCC,
Go
Character
up to
Custody
the
and
top floor.
Control.
Go on the roof.
It housed a bunch of inmates on the upper floors, and the bottom floors was like administrative buildings, stuff like that. The sheriff had his office, stuff like that. But this building specifically had a veranda that ran around the bottom of the building. It was a foot, not a foot. It was a floor up, and it ran around the bottom of the building. I'll show you. So you can see the veranda there. It goes around the whole building from the front to the back. There's a veranda. We leave out of central lockup, and we crossing the street, and the water is up to our chests. This water is rising rapidly.
Fast.
The sky is pitch black. It's dark outside. I'm holding my stuff, my belongings above my
Black
head,
people can't swim.
going
So they're
across this
dying
water
out
to get
there.
to this building. We get here, we get to the veranda. I lay out my blanket, my pillow. A couple of my coworkers were pregnant. One of my coworkers, she was 8 months pregnant. I had a coworker who had just had twins. Her and her husband were there because people really just didn't have nowhere to go, so they were just gonna come to work and make the money.
Exactly. They couldn't get out of it, New Orleans. And
The
nowhere to go.
plan was for us to stay on this veranda for the night until help came the next day to come and get us. Help never came. We ended up sleeping outside on this veranda for 5 days. And boy, it was a rough 5 days.
There's some more shit about Hurricane Katrina that I'm embarrassed that I didn't know up
You
until.
didn't tell enough, dude. You just told us that you what happened. You sound like you're gay. You better hope nobody got them butt cheeks.
I feel like if he or she needs to shut the F up, that's what they need to do. You know? Because they didn't help in any sort of way. But here,
we about to wrap it. What kind of snacks you chewing on, Joe? You got some processed food you eating? What you eating?
hell no, find me eating you guys messed up food. Getting all fat and crazy things. I'm fit, I'm keeping fit.
What you eating then?
Just some snacks, some eggs, special made eggs.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Who you in the talk to? Is Danny still around? I know Cameron's on.
Nah, Cameron's just still around.
Oh, it's Cameron's? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron don't want to go home, guys. His wife is mad at his ass.
But anyway, much love, family. Have yourselves a good day.
5 days. Wow. Yeah, I learned to swim at the YMCA. Okay, jibber jabber. Cool. I think it was flood, but it was flood by design. That's why some of the levees got blown up. Exactly. Remember, all those black people never came back to New Orleans. A lot of them, when they finally got out of there, the ones that survived, told you they moved to Atlanta, never came back. They moved to Houston. I know a bunch of them went to Houston. Some went to Shreveport. Some went up the road to Baton Rouge. And then, like Jason said, some went up way out to California, like way out to L.A. What? That's crazy. But anyway, like I said, so a lot of those guys in New Orleans going to other black cities causes problems, remember, because our cultures are different in each city. So a lot of these people are mad, hey, man, you New Orleans Negroes are weird. Go back to New Orleans. But they gentrified it. Anyway, it was George God. That's why I'm doing everything to keep my frequency and vibration up. I can't come back to this third world. We're going to have tomorrow. I'm going to show where they talk about the trap. I'm going to show with Tahuti, which is still talking about the trap and talking about us falling in vibrations. I'm going to share tomorrow on the show. We'll talk about tomorrow how dope with how we're going to go into we're going to fall in vibration. A bunch of barbarians are going to take over Northern Africa. That's who's up to them. Become savages. These barbarians are going to take over Northern Africa. So, black people, please learn how to swim. Hey, we tried. I was lucky. I grew up I had a swimming pool. So that's how I learned. Then also I was in California. My dad would take us out to Long Beach and force us to swim in the ocean. But I had a pool in my backyard when I learned how to swim and throw in the ocean. I found most black people didn't know how to swim. I said, damn. And I didn't know that until I got into the Marine, until I got in the military. All the black guys up there couldn't swim. I was out there. What the hell? Everybody black can't swim? All the white people said they got all the resources, they were swimming and shit. All the black people in the military had to be taught how to swim and shit.
Yes, much love, family. John Mosquito, I hope you know how to swim, telling other people to learn how to swim. But much love.
We know how to swim, we don't know about you. You know how to swim, Mosquito?
Exactly. Let us know. But much love, family. See you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place.
He said, Jason, you'll come back as my kid and you'll be praying to Sky Jesus.
Yes, peace, family. See you guys tomorrow. Have yourselves a beautiful day. And of course, be safe out there. Peace.
Exactly. They don't want to get their hair wet. Exactly. Black women don't swim. They don't want to get their hair wet. I know that's Joby. Looking all cute. Get my hair wet, niggas.
No.
Because I'm so poor and so black.
Exactly. I don't have money for hair every day.
Man, look at your hair all done, makeup all done, new nails. They don't look poor to me.
Yes, family. See you guys tomorrow. Have yourselves a beautiful day.
I'm waiting for the TikTok video with the hair and the nails. There's trapping